All right, so let's go to a game that does mean a ton, and that is this Houston Texans Indianapolis Colts game. This is a point and a half in favor of the Texans on the road at the Colts. 47.5 is our total. We know this division still up for grabs, and so what are we getting from an injury standpoint? Noah Brown not going to play for the Texans, so we at least know that. But outside of that, we're likely to get a full complement. I mean, listen, I would say, hey, Robert Woods might not play, but Robert Woods has not been a big contributor all year long. It doesn't really matter. So if we're talking about the contributors, we did get limited practices out of everybody except for Noah Brown. So it looks like we will be good to go there. On the Indianapolis side of things, pretty decent from them on the practice side of front as well. You'll see DeForest Buckner was a DNP, but that was just a veteran rest day and stuff for him. So, Steven, one of the games that truly does have a ton on the line here. What do you see?
So early in the week, there was a rogue 46.5. I took the over on that. I think the Texans offense in particular is going to have a lot of success here. That doesn't help anybody now because we're looking at 47.5s on the board, but this has started to tick back down a little bit. So if by kickoff that 46.5 pops back up, then yeah, I would still bet it. What I'm most confident in this game is CJ Stroud being able to move the ball. And I wasn't sure I was going to be able to say that this week, given how Stroud and the Texans offense has looked in the small sample size of when Tank Dell hasn't been on the field for them. It's only been a few games, but last week in an exploitable matchup, there was at least some promising results against the Titans secondary where Stroud finished 8th in success rate for the week. And I think this is another great matchup, great secondary for Stroud to go against. He's number 3 in the NFL in passer rating against zone defense, and the Colts play zone 90% of the time, the most in the league. And if we go a little bit deeper, one of our fantastic freelance writers, Jeffrey Schreiber, in his player props post for this game on thelines.com noted that half of the Colts coverage snaps and passing plays this year have been in cover 3, and Stroud has a 109 passer rating against cover 3, number 1 in the NFL this year. Almost 9 yards per attempt, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions for Stroud against cover 3 this season. And in the first meeting, he almost threw for 400 yards against this Colts defense. So combine that with the fact that the Texans defense over the past 2 months, past 8 weeks, has been top 5 in stopping the run. Well, I think Shane Steichen's going to have to put the ball into Gardner Minshew's hands a little bit more than he would probably like. All of this is probably why, is at least in my opinion, why we've seen a little bit of interest on the Texans flipping from small dog to small favorite here. I'm not going to have a straight up bet on this game because I'm riding Texans futures to make the playoffs and win the division. But based on everything I just said, I think you know what I would do if I didn't already have those futures.
Yeah, I have Jags and I have Colts, and so I'm in a position as well with this one to just kind of like back off and watch. I did also play points. I think there will be points as well. I agree with you a ton. Tip of the cap out there, just if you guys are looking and line shopping for whatever reason, the last month, Caesars has tried to be like the first people to market with numbers. Like they are putting numbers out. So they opened this at 46. And so I got the flat 46 on this on the over. So if you're kind of looking around at books that are posting numbers very, very early, Caesars is trying to be beating people to some of the stuff out there. So anyway, I also expect points in this one. Adam, what say you?
Not a lot to add to the handicap that you guys have put out there, but I think my theme this week is going to be trying to get more micro and not trying to get involved with the larger handicaps that go into this, because as much as I believe that there could be points in this game, I think you could also point to the fact that this is essentially a win and in game for both of these teams with 2 quarterbacks who have not really been in that situation before. And you could find, if you wanted to play the narrative streak game, a little bit of nerves, a little bit of inconsistency. Yes, if you want to go that way. For me, the way I want to go is to take what you guys have said, especially what Steven was talking about with CJ Stroud, and take that and put it into the receiving market and say, what about Nico Collins with no Tank Dell? Dalton Schultz really hasn't been the guy. And so when you get micro with this, you look at Nico Collins and say, this is where the ball is going to go. And when CJ Stroud has been healthy and Nico Collins has been healthy, the targets have absolutely been there to get to 5.5 right now, which is where the receptions number is. I think you're going to see 8, 9, 10 targets for Nico Collins, and that should be plenty to get to 6 catches in this game.
Yeah, it's again one of the few games we can really actually kind of look at and try and figure out what's going to happen straight up and straight down.